That's nice.
If you care about your Rocket League settings, you are in the right place. Today we will be looking over all the best settings available for you to be able to play at your peak in this game. If you have any questions about settings in Rocket League, I hope this video can help. So today we are in the settings menu, looking at the best options for a bunch of different stuff that will make your game feel better and help you improve over time. Let's start with the gameplay tab. This part is nice and easy. I recommend playing with crossplay. Matchmaking will be quicker and there is no advantage gained by turning it off. The next three settings are all related to internet connections and should remain on high regardless of your internet situation. Our first interesting setting is input buffer. Now if you have a stable internet connection, you should be using default. But for the people with less stable internets, such as mobile connections, CSTS will make your gameplay experience feel smoother by doing fancy internet stuff behind the scenes. For most of you this won't mean much, but this is a lifesaver if you live somewhere where 4G internet is your best option. Everything else in this tab is all just aesthetics. I don't like the forced team colours, as the club team colours could be a nice fun thing to see sometimes if queuing with friends. A controversial one is the game stats display level. I have it set to all stats, which means I get notifications for things like turtle goals or first touches after kickoff. If you find this distracting, try selecting main stats, or maybe even no stats. It is just visual at the end of the day. Now, onto the camera settings. I totally recommend using a custom camera angle. You can see mine here. They are copied from some pro player and you can find their settings all over the internet quite easily. Ideally you should go into free play and mess around with different options until you find something you like, but you can just copy someone else's. A higher FOV is really common as it lets you see what's going on much easier and stops your car from taking up all of your screen real estate. Close to no one uses camera shake at the higher levels. It will distract you even if you think it doesn't. Turn it off. Controls. Now to me, the sensitivity and dead zones don't do too much. If you have an older controller, you might start to notice stick drift, and if this is the case, making your dead zones larger can help extend a controller's life and stop the stick drift from actually impacting you in-game for a while. Controller vibration is yet another option that is just there to distract you. I really recommend turning it off. It can throw you off quite easily in some situations, and you don't want to mess up just because of a vibration. In bindings you can make some changes that can really take your game to the next level, but some will take a long time to get used to. Firstly, binding boost to X allows you to jump and boost at the same time, which is super useful for getting in the air quickly. Nowadays some throws a binding boost to their right bumper, which is even more crazy, but give it a go if you have the time to learn new controls. Secondly, you can bind directional air roll to your bumpers. There are lots of tutorials online on how directional air roll works, but I will warn you, it will take many hours to get used to, and hundreds to eventually master. Having directional air roll will take your aerial game to the next level, so I'd say it is worth it. Good luck. Onto interface. Now I like everything to be big. I even have nameplate scale set to 200%. To me the nameplates never get in the way in game, and it's always better to know what's going on, especially when cars may be hidden behind the ball and you are waiting for the perfect flick timing. I have match notifications on kickoffs only. I think having the last 10 seconds of a game count down on screen is overkill, as you already have the audio warning. It can quite easily get in the way. This setting is up to you though. Most of the other settings here are entirely visual and personal preference. I personally recommend keeping connection quality indicators on, as it is important to know when you may be lagging. Sometimes it's hard to tell without the indicators. I also recommend turning ball cam indicator off. It gets in your way, and I'm sure that by now you all know when you have the ball cam on or off. The same isn't true for ball arrow. Ball arrow is super useful for information in game and should always be kept on. A lot of video settings are personal, but I can tell you that lots of great players play with everything disabled and with settings on the most performance possible options. I also recommend double checking that you are on the refresh rate that matches your monitor's highest available. 144Hz isn't a massive advantage in Rocket League, but it is noticeable. Audio is entirely personal preference. I kinda feel like Rocket League is a very loud game. Everyone I know sets their master volume quite low compared to other games. I also think gameplay should be louder than anything else. You should concentrate on the game, and having clear audio for this is great. Having music on in training is up to you, but I think I recommend against it for most. Being able to have clear audio cues for what's going on will help you improve slightly quicker, and playing with music in game will only distract you from the game. And finally, chat settings. No one in this game uses chat for anything useful. If you want to avoid getting tilted, you can even turn off chat completely. But I think having some communication with your team can be useful if no one is being toxic. Being able to see the other team's chat is going to open you up to many what saves per game. But if this doesn't impact you, the default chat settings are more than fine. No one uses voice chat in Rocket League. And that's it for the Ultimate Rocket League settings guide. If you found this video interesting, maybe consider subscribing. And other than that, thank you for watching. Bye!